Namaste, Jai Kali, Jai Mahadev, Jai Bharat. I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. Remember, if you're fit and fine, you can take better care of your loved ones. So, of late, you all must have seen that I had been making a lot of content on toxic family, toxic relationship, dysfunctional family, dysfunctional relationship. So I got an interesting mail where one of the subscribers, in fact, asked me how to detach, how to handle and manage, toxicity and dysfunctionality. So this video is all about how to manage toxicity and dysfunctionality. And the first point in managing or handling this is that, you know, focus on what you can control. Don't focus on things that you can't control. Often what happens is that in toxicity and in dysfunctional families, we are as it is so preoccupied, our minds are as it is so preoccupied, that we tend to focus and invest more of our energy, in trying to control things which is actually not there for us to control, and because of which we feel depleted, drained and burnt out. So just don't focus on things which you can't control. Focus on the things that you can control. That will help you to save your energy, emotions and everything. So just focus on things that you can control. Don't engage into things that you cannot control. The next one is, you don't really have to respond or react to everything. So often what happens is the atmosphere and the kind of environment in a toxic family or dysfunctional relationship or toxic relationship is such that we often get so agitated and anxious that we start responding to everything, every toxic things that is around us or thrown at us. But in a way, if you see, again the same thing happens, is that we in return feel burnt out, depressed, anxious, and it doesn't help. So we need to be calm, and we don't have to react and respond to anything and everything. So we need to make a thumb rule, and that is that before reacting and responding to things, take a pause and break for 5 minutes, think about it, yeah, and then respond and react. Don't be impulsive and react, because often what happens is that in anxiousness, in agitation, in all of that, those states, our emotions are so heightened that we often go to any extent and we just react. There is a very crazy outburst, right? And because of that, that might work as a catalyst and really infuriate the other party, or that might just create more of the commotion, more of the turbulence that already is happening in and around you. So think and then respond, or if you have to react at all, then do that. Don't just randomly jump and be emotional and just respond to anything and everything. The next one is, we need to first keep one thing very clear in our mind, or rather make things very clear in our mind, is that don't allow don't force people to make any kind of good or bad decisions. See, good and bad decisions are an individual choice, and an individual has to bear with it, right? So you should not force or advise people, of whatever they want to do. In the end, they will do what they want to do. But if you start imposing your thoughts and decisions on them, they might interpret it in a wrong way, and they might you might be seen as a perpetrator or an enemy. So let people live with their good and bad decision. It's theirs, right? And they should experience and face it, whether it's good or bad. After all, it's their choice and decision. So don't try and confiscate that autonomy from your near and dear ones, or I mean, if you're in a toxic relationship or a family. And apart from that, one also needs to understand that don't just go on advising people as to what they should do, what they should not do. See, everyone has their own mind, everyone has their own trajectory set in their mind, what they have to do and how they want to go about it. So let them, because eventually they all have to face the consequences, whether it is good or bad. Good, they'll face good; bad, they'll bear with it, right? But in a way, you don't get into it, because if you get into it and if they don't do it, you will have a kind of a disappointment that you thought of guiding and they did not listen. So every individual has their own autonomy, and let them just do what they want to do. Only if they seek advice or suggestion, then give. Otherwise, don't just go on and start giving advices and suggestions. Only when you are asked, then give. Otherwise, don't give. Let people do whatever and however they want to do. The next thing that you need to understand is that don't obsess about people's problem. See, people's problem is an individual problem, and let them face it. I mean, you can't do anything about it. It's a person's own problem. It's a person's own issue, and they are the best ones to solve, because every problem has a solution, and it's with us. Nobody else can come and solve my problem. In the end, I have to solve my own problem. That's a very practical approach. But if somebody wants to live in a la la land and in some dreamland, whereas in some miracle happens and the problem is solved, that doesn't happen. So just be strong enough to handle your own problems and let others also bear with their problems. You cannot solve everyone's problem. At most, what you can do is that solve your own problem and take care of yourself. So stop obsessing about others problem, because in a dysfunctional family, as it is, when we grow up in a dysfunctional relationship or family, we have this nature. We start growing up this nature that I'll come and fix all the problems. Oh no, you can't. It's impossible. So first fix yourself, then think about fixing others. Otherwise, avoid fixing others. Only if people ask, then get into it. Otherwise, don't just get into it. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of backlash. Now, the next point that I would want to, talk about here is set emotional boundaries by letting others know how to treat you. So just don't be a doormat kind of a person. I mean, like, who gets treated by however ways the person wants to treat. So, I mean, like, do set up a healthy emotional boundary as to how they should treat you, or else you treat them and make them aware that this is the way how I treat you, and you should also treat me the same way. Yeah. And because, see, healthy boundaries are very essential for anything and everything, whether it's habits, whether it's your daily activities, or anything. There has to be healthy limitations, healthy boundaries. You can't, if you overeat, you'll fall sick. So the same way, I mean, like, there should be healthy boundaries as to how you deserve to be treated. And if someone mistreats you, you don't feel good. And at the end of the day, it really takes it preoccupies your mind, and you are unable to do anything good. So draw a healthy boundary as to how they should treat you. Now, the next point that I want to talk about is that, um, often what happens is that being in a dysfunctional and toxic family or a relationship, we grow up with very unrealistic expectations. That is a kind of a coping mechanism. After I mean, with a lot of those anxiety, stress, and all those commotion happening in the relationship and in family, we grow up with a lot of unrealistic expectations. See, problem is everywhere, and the world is filled with chaos. You can't have something which is like absolutely peaceful and 100% goody good. So problems, challenges are everywhere. So start giving yourself a reality check to all your expectations that you grew up with. So unrealistic expectations, can often lead to just frustration and resentment. Everyone is different, everyone is unique, everyone's way of looking at things are different. So just don't grow up with some fancy expectation or unrealistic expectation. Try and be more practical rather than being emotional. That is, I mean, what I want to put across is that it's better to be a practical person who fails and then does it again, who and then again fails and then finally achieves it and wins it. So that makes more sense rather than being just emotional and not even trying and scared of failure. So I mean, that restricts your mental growth, emotional growth, and a lot of things it restricts in your life. So I mean, be very realistic and give a reality check to whatever expectations that you have in your mind. It's not always like that. Things are very different in real practical life. And also, you need to understand, in order to get over or handle or manage toxicity and dysfunctionality, start treating yourself well. Only if you can make yourself feel good, you will have peace of mind, you will have a little elated self esteem and confidence, so that you can manage things around you. So treat yourself well. That is also very essential. You cannot deny that treating yourself well doesn't help. It does help. It helps in a lot of emotional and psychological ways. So just treat yourself, and it's you who is going to face everything. So this should be happy, you should be happy. And apart from that, also, you need to understand that not you, or rather, let me put it this way: don't engage into arguments that is not productive. Yes, it might sound selfish, but if it's not a productive argument, there is no need to get into it. Yeah. If it's just unhealthy bitching and this and that, and just self procrastination and belittling someone or trolling someone, and all of these, abusing someone, and um, foul mouthing about someone and criticizing someone, I don't think these things are going to help. So these things are sign of toxicity, right? I mean, like, and dysfunctionality. So I mean, avoid or don't give any space to unproductive arguments in your life. Just stay away. Keep yourself busy. At max, I mean, like, don't engage into people who are like toxic and dysfunctional. Yeah. And apart from that, the last points, I mean, the 2 points that I would want to mention is that if your partner or if your family, if they are into any kind of a substance abuse or they are extremely dysfunctional, what you can do is that maybe visit them for some time and come back early. Try and spend less time, because in the end you will just be having this feeling of burnt out and drained emotionally and energy wise, and you might feel low. So avoid. I start creating a healthy boundary. I mean, if the above all, if you are unable to handle the above all, the last is to distance yourself from dysfunctional and toxic people and dysfunctional and toxic family members. Yes, I mean, you have to prioritize yourself. And see, you never know, in a dysfunctional and toxic family, anything can turn into any kind of dangerous situation or scenario. So the best thing is to, if you're unable to draw a healthy emotional boundary, what other things can you do? I mean, I have practically listed all of it. So what more can you do to manage it, to handle it? Those, the above points that I mentioned, were to manage. But if at all nothing is working out, distance yourself. Once you distance yourself, things are going to be much better. You can heal, you can reparent yourself, you can resurrect again stronger, and you can move on in life much happily. So yes, I hope I have touched all the aspects as to how we can detach or somewhat manage and handle toxicity and dysfunctionality. So please do like, share, subscribe this video, and in case if you want to add in something to it, or if you want to share any experience, you can always comment below. And please take care of yourself. And let me tell you this: mental wellness, mental peace, mental health is the biggest wealth. So think about it and try and treasure it. It's very essential. If you're not peaceful here, trust me, the world, as it is chaotic, it will be more chaotic. So please take care of yourself, and I'll see you again. Till then, take care. Bye.